Assalamualaikum. My name is Abdul Aziz bin Azmi. Today, I will be sharing my individual reflection on the topic, the impact of mathematics on knowledge. This reflection is based on my learning experience throughout this continuous assessment. Throughout this process, I began to see mathematics from a completely different perspectives, not just as a subject but as something that influences the way we think, understand, and make decisions in our daily lives. Before this, I always thought mathematics was mainly about numbers, formulas, and getting the correct answers. Sometimes I felt that mathematics was rigid and difficult to connect with real life situations. However, throughout this learning process, I gradually realized that mathematics is not just about solving problems. It is actually made up of two important elements, which are utility and beauty. This understanding helped me see mathematics as something more complete, where it is both practical and meaningful at the same time. In terms of utility, I realized that mathematics plays a very important role in solving real-life problems. It helps me think in a more structured and logical way when facing different situations. For example, in daily life, I use mathematics when managing my expense, planning my schedule, and making decisions. Through this, I started to understand that mathematics is not only used in exams, but it is actually a tool that supports everyday lives. As I went deeper into this topic, I began to notice how mathematics is applied in different fields. In daily lives, it helps us managing time and resources effectively. In industry, it is used in construction, design, and production process. In science, it helps in performing accurate calculation and analysis. This made me realize that mathematics is not limited to one area, but it is applied almost everywhere around us. One of the most important things I learned is how mathematics improves decision making. Previously, I often made decisions based on feeling or assumptions. However, through this learning process, I began to understand the importance of analyzing situations step by step before making a decisions. Mathematics train us to think logically, evaluate options, and choose the most suitable solution. This helps me become more careful and confident when making decisions. Another perspective that really changed my thinking is the idea of beauty in mathematics. At first, I never thought mathematics could be associated with beauty. But now, I can see that mathematics involves patterns, balance, and harmony. For example, many designs in nature and architecture follow mathematical principles. This made me realize that mathematics is not only logical but also creative and meaningful. I also learned that mathematical beauty can be seen through symmetry, patterns, and logical structures. These elements create a sense of order and elegance. When I started to notice these patterns, I began to appreciate mathematics more deeply. It is no longer just about solving problems, but also about understanding how things are connected and organized. This learning experience has also contributed to my intellectual growth. It encouraged me to think more deeply and ask questions such as why and how, instead of just accepting answers. I also become more interested in understanding concepts rather than memorizing formulas. This change has made my learning process more meaningful and effective. Another important realization is that mathematics has a dual nature. It is both useful and beautiful at the same time. These two elements complement each other and help us understand mathematics in a more complete way. Through this topic, I realized that mathematics plays a key role in developing knowledge. It helps us understanding complex ideas and supports learning in many different fields. Mathematics also improves my critical thinking skills. It trains me to analyze problems carefully, evaluate information, and find logical solutions. This skill is very important not only in academics but also in real-life situations. Lastly, I learned that mathematics is the foundation of innovation. It supports technology, research, and modern developments that shape our world today. So, for conclusion, this topic has completely changed my perception of mathematics. I now see mathematics as something more than just numbers and formulas. It is both practical and meaningful, and it plays an important role in shaping knowledge and human thinking.